This is the W Wallke H9 AWD 3200W dual motor electric bike, and just having it in front of me, my first impression is honestly, wow, this thing looks powerful and serious. The frame is sturdy and has a bit of a futuristic vibe, thanks to the angular lines and the thick, rugged 20-inch fat tires. The matte black finish is sleek, and the build quality feels solid right away. It's not a small or lightweight bike. When I tried to lift it or roll it around, the weight was pretty obvious. But after spending some time with it, I get why. There's a lot packed into this package. Let's get into a quick review. Based on my hands and hopefully help anyone out there who might be considering something like this, especially if you're new to electric bikes. Starting with key features, the W Wallke H9 AWD is an electric bike with a dual motor setup, so 2 motors, each at 1750 volt max, giving you a total peak output of 3200 watts. That's a lot more power than most starter e-bikes, and it really shows when you start riding. For someone like me, who commutes across a mix of city streets and rougher gravel trails, the acceleration and torque this bike delivers is honestly a huge plus. You twist the throttle and you're off, with a pretty thrilling pickup. It claims up to 34 miles per hour on the top end, and from my time on clear roads, that's totally possible. While it can really move, comfort is clearly a major consideration here. I noticed the fat, 4-inch wide tires soak up a lot of bumps, especially when paired with the dual suspension system. There's a lockable hydraulic fork up front and a pair of rear shocks under the seat. I took it over potholes, up curbs, and even hit some snowy patches, and the ride stayed steady and confidence-inspiring. That's not something I can say for regular bikes or even basic electric models. The full suspension, plus these fat tires, definitely help keep things feeling stable, even if you're carrying some extra weight or riding on less than perfect surfaces. The battery is probably one of the biggest selling points of the H9 AWD. It's a 48-volt 40-watt-hour removable lithium-ion battery, and according to the specs, you can get up to 130 miles of range on pedal assist. Now, my longest trip without recharging was about 70 miles, mixing up full throttle and generous use of pedal assist, and there was still juice left. You probably won't hit 130 unless you ride light, use the lowest assist, and keep to gentle terrain, but it's great not having that range anxiety I get with other e-bikes. The battery locks in place and pops out pretty easily, so if you live in an apartment or don't have outdoor charging, you can take it indoors for charging without trouble. Another thing I instantly loved was the display. It's a full-color LCD monitor, nice and bright, even in the sun, and it gives you all the basics you need: speed, battery bar, distance, assist mode, that kind of thing. If you like messing with your bike settings, there's also app control. I paired it up with my phone using the Wallke app, which let me adjust ride modes and check stats. For beginners, this isn't mandatory at all, but if you're into gadgets, it's a fun bonus. There's also USB charging on the display, letting me juice up my phone during longer rides. Safety-wise, I felt pretty confident thanks to real motorcycle-style 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes with 203mm rotors. If you haven't tried hydraulic brakes before, they offer a level of powerful, smooth stopping that makes you feel much more in control than standard mechanical brakes. Riding at higher speeds, like 30 miles per hour or more, it's comforting to know you have that instant stopping power. The bike also comes with bright LED headlights and taillights, a horn, reflectors, and there's even password protection, which helps if you need some peace of mind when parking it outside for a short period. This model actually folds, which is awesome for what is otherwise a really big, heavy-duty e-bike. I was a little skeptical about folding bikes in general, since I always worry they might feel flimsy, but the locking mechanism on this frame feels robust. Folding it is doable though, to be honest. It's not featherlight. If you need to carry it upstairs regularly, you'll get a workout. For me, it fits in the back of my SUV when fully folded. That's not something I can say about most non-folding e-bikes at this power level. I'll be straight. I was a bit nervous about assembling it, since I'm not a pro mechanic and I have a record of misplacing tools. The H9 AWD comes 85% pre-assembled and most of the tricky stuff is already done. I just needed to sort out the front wheel, some washers, the handlebars, and pedals. The instructions are clear, but I'd recommend setting aside some time and maybe having a buddy help with the heavy lifting. I did have to double-check the brake line alignment, which slowed me down, but otherwise, it was smooth. The included toolkit is handy, and I didn't need to buy anything extra. Talking about comfort, the seat deserves a special mention. It's extra wide and padded, made of artificial leather. It's way better than the skinny, stiff saddles you find on road bikes. For longer rides, my back and hips felt pretty good. The handlebar height is adjustable, so I could dial it in for my height. As someone who doesn't have much experience with sport bikes, I appreciated that extra customization makes the bike more accessible for different body types. Now about the controls. The H9 AWD has a full twist throttle, replacing the thumb throttle style a lot of electric bikes use. For me, the twist throttle felt more intuitive, especially coming from a background of riding motor scooters. It gives finer control over speed, and I felt less wrist fatigue during longer rides. I know some newcomers might be surprised by the power delivery. If you're not careful with the throttle, it can really jump forward, especially on dual motor mode. My advice, practice in a wide open area and always start in the lowest power setting until you get used to how it feels. For riding options, there are 5 modes: traditional pedal, pedal assist, throttle only, walk assist, and you can switch between single or dual motor drive. I played around with these, and while full throttle is fun for short sprints, pedal assist was the sweet spot for mixing exercise and performance. The walk assist is handy for pushing the bike up ramps or during crowded sidewalk stretches. The shim 7-speed gear system isn't wildly different from other bikes, but it's dependable and it helps compensate for hills when you want to save battery and use your legs more. Carrying stuff is easy. There's a tough cargo rack at the back that held my backpack, groceries, even a small cooler. If you do delivery or just like day trips, this is a big plus. Between the high maximum rider weight, 400 pounds, and the strong frame, this bike works not just for daily commutes, but also for heavier riders or anyone wanting to take along some extra gear. If you're new to electric bikes and finding all the specs and options overwhelming, I totally get it. My biggest worries before trying the H9 AWD were about the actual range, the feel of the throttle, how hard assembly would be, and whether a heavier bike would feel like too much. From my experience, while it's a heavier and pricier option than average, the payoff is in performance and battery life. The range is reliable, and the comfort is a step above most commuter e-bikes I've tried. Yes, you need to be ready for the weight. It's kind of a beast compared to small folding bikes, but you also get a lot more for daily use, fun rides, and longer adventures. As for value, I think the price is up there, but you get a lot of features you'd normally see on much more expensive off-road models. Between the dual motor drive, advanced battery, full suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, foldable frame, and living with a smart display and app control, I'd recommend this for anyone who wants more freedom to ride in different environments and doesn't want to be limited by range or power.